Ever wondered why your best intentions collapse when pressure hits?
Today, we are giving you the framework of how real leaders build sustainable habits.
Only on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Let's go!
Welcome to Mornings in the Lab, where
when something negative comes up.
Building muscle improves blood flow.
From squirting to squirreling.
Start small, build up, and expand from there.
To be entertained by fun over here.
How by slap? Because my sleep has been good. That's
What doesn't come from breaking the rules, you guys? Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, you can't have white without black. You can't have love without anger. You can't have happiness without frustration. Yes. My team knows exactly what I'm talking about this morning. Good morning. Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends, your live morning show for daily morning motivation, real talk, and entertaining conversation. This is where we don't just talk. We don't just stand around. We don't do nothing. If you're reacting, Nation, if you're reacting, you've lost. Yeah, true mother story. Hey, before we jump into it, here is an invite for you. Like the show, subscribe to the channel, and come say hi in the comments, guys. The comments are active today. This is a live experience, and we want you part of the conversation. Hey, where are you tuning in from today, and how are you feeling about 2026? One is kind of like, 10 is super excited. I'd like to hear from you guys. Drop your number in the comments right now. I know you're out there, Holroyd. I know you're out there, Sullivan. And hey, this is an R-rated experience, you guys. So if you guys are offended by bad words, I'd invite you to leave the show. Yes, and sometimes those bad words become perhaps offensive words, and we go down the path of even X-rated conversation. So if you are offended by that, I'd invite you to leave the show as well. Hey, we know we are not for everyone. That is also a true mother story. Yes, so those that enjoy the conversation, those that enjoy the banter, those that are looking for a safe space to belong, this is the place for you. Yes, you are. Hey, listen, coming up on the show here today, good morning, Sully. What's your number, man? Holroyd, what's your number today? How you feeling about 26? 1 being a 10 being a getting after it. Hey, we're going to kick it off today, guys. There's some noise happening in the news this morning. Woke up to some interesting conversations in the news today. We're going to talk about it, and we've teased it before. That Drake guy's back in the news here today. So is Adin Ross. I have a theory. I think Drake is back in the news here today because he's got an album dropping. But anyways, maybe they're just generating news so we can talk about it. We're going to have a conversation about the allegations coming at Drake and Adin Ross this morning. We're also taking a strange but fascinating detour into deep past. A 9,500-year-old cremation discovery that somehow makes modern time wasting feel. I found this one. This is an interesting one, actually. And hey, we also got a rumored tech update. I told you guys this months ago, and now my what I told you months ago might be coming to truth. We're going to talk about that. What OpenAI, what ChatGPT is going to be releasing to the wild next year. Center stage, Shane Dool, the Superman of cannabis. We're talking cannabis on the show here today. Shane's story of outsmarting cops, courts, and big tech on his way to building a cannabis empire sounds like something literally straight out of Hollywood. You know, it's funny, man. So I'm just looking at the notes here. If the guy is if the guy's putting all of his energy into the cops, the courts, and the big tech, I'm wondering what that's his. I'm just wondering what's on the screen here right now. I couldn't read that. If we're putting all that energy into cops, courts, and big tech, we might have to have a chat with Shane Dool coming up bottom of the hour. And then, of course, deep dive, the Georgetown Study, and the question at the heart of today's show: why do some leadership habits stick under pressure while others evaporate the second things get hard? Oh, Did I say hard? Yeah, true story. John Petrocelli is joining us here in the deep dive, coming up here in the second hour. And then we're going to shift gears into the morning focus with a conversation we didn't get to yesterday, when real becomes a filter and authenticity itself becomes infinitely reproducible. What does that mean for trust, identity, and how we show up online? We're going to dig into some notes that Adam Masari from Instagram dropped yesterday about the future of the Instagram feed, the future of social media, and how it is impacting all of us. And hey, we are going to get into the community corner, of course, at the bottom of the second hour, to get into breaking down what get better actually means versus what we pretend it means, plus the uncomfortable math of how much time most people casually donate to procrastination every single year. I suspect there's a lot of people procrastinating, waiting for Monday to start. Yeah, I'm going to get started on Monday. I'm going to get started on Monday. Really? Yeah. Hey, Lord Alcatraz, you have the London look. Lord Alcatraz, where are you joining me from this morning? Welcome to Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. All right, guys, let's do this. Lordal, where are you joining me from? Because we got a show to do here. I'm going to have an invitation for you to grab the coffee, settle in. Sterling, Preston, let's kick off the morning loop.
Yesterday showed it clean. When life gets loud, structure isn't strict. It's survival. Autism isn't a tragedy story. It's a translation problem. The world stays vague, then blames the person. The moment resources stop, people don't stop needing support. They just stop being seen. And pressure exposes it fast. Stress hits, routines break, and everyone calls it attitude. That's the part people get wrong. Pressure reveals design. When stress hits, you don't rise to intention. You fall to defaults. So we're building one move that survives a bad day. Micro, repeatable, attached to a trigger. That's how you make it stick. Not motivation, not vibes. A system you can run when you're tired and behind. Nation, pick one habit today. Make it small. Make it real. Then prove it under pressure.
You guys can join the show that's live right now or in the Mornings in the Lab community. Join the show, 431-300-3005, 431-300-3005, phone, text, or leave a voicemail. There is supposed to be an image up there on the screen that we're not seeing right now. So 431-300. I think my team is asleep at the wheel here today, Neiman. I think the boys are sleeping back there. Yeah, true story. I'm not sure what the guys are up to back there, but I think they are sleeping at the wheel. Hey, to those of you that are watching the show not live, I invite you to come see us in the Mornings in the Lab community, or come get up and join us live, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on the big show, which is called Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Looking at the comments over there, we got Lord Alcatraz joining us from somewhere. We don't know where. We got Sullivan, another inspiring guest who's overcoming challenges. Yesterday, we'll show to my autistic nephew later today. Yes. And Sullivan, I saw your note yesterday about that content that we had flagged by YouTube, because we were playing some copyrighted material. And I love when folks in the community are like, hey, you guys aren't sorted out there. I'm like, yes, I know. Exactly it. All right. So listen, we're going to, why do tech issues always happen when the show is live? Yeah. Anyways. Okay. So let's get into it here, guys. Let's get into the show here right now with us this morning. I want to kick it off with a conversation that we started here this morning with about the Drake and Adin Ross thing. So got up today. Drake, Adin Ross, currently accused lawsuits of staging massive fake-looking money movements around gambling and music streams. Here's the thing. I'm not going to get into all the details of it. So the allegations look like this. Apparently, they're thinking that, well, no, not thinking. The allegations look to the fact that there is, they were spiking the stream numbers. So people were wondering, whether the stream numbers were quite real, or they were not real, and they have been named in this lawsuit that they're being named this lawsuit because they're allegedly scamming folks along the way here. So interesting to see what that's going to come with that. So I suspect it has something to do with the fact that Drake has an album coming out, but that was in the news here today. And that is for you guys. So how does it impact you? Well, not really, but I'm kind of curious about it. It's just something we like to talk about here in the show. Okay, coming up next here, guys. Next year. Ancient death, modern wake-up call. What a 9,500-year-old cremation says about wasting time. I see we got Anderson joining the show here. Let's bring in the big dog. Let's bring him in himself before we get into it. What's going on, Johnny?
What's up, brother? I'm sitting here actually with a...
How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm actually sitting here with a red light on my back. You know what I'm talking about, the red light therapy?
Yeah.
You know
I do know what you're talking about, red light therapy. Yeah.
Chair got this little, it's like a portable one. And so basically you can hook it right to the back of a chair. So it's sitting right there. So it's basically working on whatever hell was going on with my nerve/leg.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah. I was here. I was here at 07, but it took me, Jesus Christ, you showed me how to work this controller. It's like a fucking spaceship, even to turn on a light. Unbelievable. This shit.
So I had somebody on the show before I met you, John Graham, taught me about vitamin G. He's got a red light company. We should have him on the show because he sells a portable red light that you strap to your arm, strap to your back, strap to your face.
That's what I'm wondering if I have his product right now.
So do I. Yeah.
As you strapped as you could, like strap it around your waist. I just strap it to the back of a chair, and then I just, because if it's on your waist, you get up, you got to take a piss, you got to unplug it.
Yeah. So here's the thing with me, right? So here's the thing with that, and I'm just gonna be frank with it, right? Is that to me on the face of it all, it seems like all hooey fooey, plafooey, fluffery, gimmickry, fucking snake oil. It does. Just gonna be frank, that's what it does to me. So I know you are a skeptic as well. I'm just gonna make some assumptions here that you're gonna see what it does, and you will have your own judgment in a period of time.
Actually, that's true. But part of my crew, who we've been testing shit for fucking decades, has already done the work for me.
Okay.
They're like, one of my buddies who, he's probably shit. People come to him from all over the place now for rehab stuff, especially with peptides. He's really good with the understanding the rehab mechanisms for peptides. Anyway, he was like, dude, he's like, I know this is not something you're big on. He goes, but I'm telling you right now, this will help. And he's collected all sorts of data how it's helped him. Yeah. And so and he's right in the regards that there's zero investment here in terms of like you buy it one time, it's not very expensive. And so it's I guess with something like this, I don't have to worry about taking my time away. So why would I not? Yeah,
you just strap it. No, and I'm all for that.
One of my trusted friends and confidants and even business partners said, "Dude, do this."
Yeah. I listen, and I'm all for it. You know me, I'm all for trying shit. I guess for me, what I have a hard time wrapping my head around is, and this will be a good chat for Petrocelli coming up in the second hour, which is how do we know what quote unquote works? And like what the definition is, right? Like, so for example, we know that if we go, so I'll use your example, Anderson. We know if we go outside into the fucking rain, we're going to get wet, period. Boom.
Yep.
But we don't know for sure whether, good morning, everybody. I see you guys tuning into Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends here. Your live morning show experience popping up here on your mornings feed here on YouTube. Thank you guys for joining the show here with us. We're having a conversation about red light therapy. Like what I don't know is because you don't know either, right? Whether it's a placebo, whether it is because you're sleeping, like there's so many variables, and that is just, sometimes.
Well, here's the thing. What is? How do we gauge this?
Yeah,
results.
Sure, but again, though, there's so many variables you can't determine. Right. So for example, this is a fun back and forth. No, I agree with you. Yeah, let's do it.
Someone who doesn't understand how to eliminate variables and, test things single file. Someone doesn't have a fucking amazing baseline of how they feel with a weekly, daily basis. These are all things that I would question too. But these are things that are this advice came to me from a friend who does the exact same thing that I do in terms of we use the same methodologies of testing.
Yes, and listen, and I was I had a chat with our buddy Jason Hewlett from Cardi Miracle with Shake and Jay, and I said, like, how do you know it works? He goes, well, I guess what you need to do is over a period of time, you see if you see if it has any effects on you, right? And here's the thing, in my experience, if I'm going to do positive, listen, doing accumulative positive things, I could only assume is going to have much more benefits to me if I do a bunch of accumulative negative things, crushing Big Macs, sitting on my ass, fucking drinking, all that crappy shit. So I got to think that, okay, they say red light therapy is going to help you. Okay, great. I'll go try it out. Okay. They say taking nitric oxide drinks are going to help you. Okay, great. I'll try it out. For me though, I guess, again, I just go back to and maybe I'm oversimplifying it, Anderson, but sometimes I just go back to,
I love simplification. So keep going.
I know. And sometimes I say to myself that, okay, I know if I go outside when it's raining, and I love your analogy, I'm going to get wet, period. Doesn't matter if I got fucking a parka on, doesn't matter if I'm naked, doesn't matter. I'm going to get wet. However, if I sleep 10 hours a day and do all and dot all the I's and cross the T's and take red light therapy, does that have any changes? I don't know. And again, I'm not dismissing it. It just adds a whole level of curiosity and questions to me. Here's the thing, how I ended though. I guess my caveat is that I'm suspecting it's not harming me. So if it's not harming me, it's either not doing nothing or it's making me better. That's how I look at it.
100%. So start from the whole spectrum. There's the cash investment is small for someone who has just even a little bit of money, right? Because it's a small portable deal, right? Yeah. Then it's not like it's some huge amount of effort. You turn this thing on and you fucking
that's just it. I get that.
So boom. So that part's out of the way, right?
Yes.
So we know that there's really no downside to it other than whatever you spent on the thing.
Yeah.
Now, if the reason I was resisted is because I didn't want to fucking tear my life apart to fucking to test this one thing.
I get it. Yeah, I totally get that. 100%.
So I'm with you. How do I know why? That's why I did it. But now that it's been here long enough, number of my crew has done what I would have done and said yes. So it's just like in the peptide world. I do a test on a peptide and I share the news with the people that I know that trust in my testing.
Yeah.
They basically cut away a whole lot of the bullshit and go right to the heart of the source, dial it in for them. Well, that's exactly what this red light therapy is for me right now.
I love it. And actually, if anything, hey, Graham, hey, Melissa, we got to reach out to John Graham. John, you need to send me a red light therapy so I can strap it on and we can do some testing. If there's anything it's clear with this show, brother,
on that level, I want to agree with what you're saying here.
Yeah.
Me and my buddies, because we're already fucking doing all the shit, it's not some massive fucking difference. That makes sense.
And I get that, right? It's
not
adding
a massive difference. So if you think it is, you're going to be let down. And that's part of the problem with so many people. Like methylene blue. Oh, I took it for a month. I didn't notice anything. You weren't supposed to notice anything, dipshit. I mean, granted, for the real extreme case, it could have given a little better energy for sure. But someone that's taking care of themselves, more of a longevity thing.
Okay. So this is good though. This is great. Okay. So then my answer to me, well, if it didn't do anything to you, then what did you do it for? Right. So that's
you're not noticing something, but it's doing something. There's a big difference.
Sure. That's fair. Yep. 100%.
I mean,
100%.
I don't notice the fucking liver detox pills that I take every day, but I can see the difference in a blood test.
Yeah, that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Let's do this. Hey, Grok, join the conversation with myself and John. Talk to us about the benefits of red light therapy or whether it is just one piece of bullshit scam.
Bring the research down to the last 18 months. Otherwise, you're going to get a bunch of screwy shit.
All right, jumping in here, fellas. Red light therapy ain't straight up snake oil, but it ain't a miracle cure either. The science from the last couple of years, including stuff out of Stanford and some solid meta-analyses, shows real benefits to skin stuff like wrinkles, acne, collagen boost, wound healing, and even hair growth. It works by cranking up microcellular function, dropping inflammation, and improving blood flow. On the pain and nerve side, which is what John's chasing with those jacked up nerves. There's growing evidence it helps with neuropathic pain, reduces inflammation, and speeds nerve regen. Studies on diabetic neuropathy and general nerve pain show decent pain relief and better function, especially with consistent use. Low risk, basically zero downside if you're not blasting your eyes or something stupid.
Yeah, so that really sums it up there, what she said, Johnny. And this is great. This has been a great back and forth because you set it up properly right at the beginning, which was, listen, it didn't cost me nothing. What I mean by that is that the investment was already done and just had to strap it on. And like she said, right, there is some benefits to it, right? So we're proving to see more benefits to it, right? So to your point, I strapped it on and I'm going to try it out and see what happens with it. And I think that's really the kind of key to it. So Graham, send me a red light therapy so we can try it out and you can sponsor the show with us.
But it's interesting because it's funny we're talking. We should make a quick comparison for people about these different, call it health methodologies, longevity methodologies, performance methodologies. Let's make a comparison to going to the gym. If you go to the fucking gym for a week and you think you're going to have some fucking big chest, you're out of your fucking mind. This is an accumulative thing, people. There's not a potion. There's not. Other than fucking going and getting plastic surgery, you're not going to look different at the end of the week.
Well, that is a good analogy there, I guess.
So it's like with all of this stuff. I mean, even in a peptide world, there are some peptides where fucking bam, you're going to feel something right away. There are some different medications where you're going to feel bam, something like obviously a painkiller. Boom, you feel it right now, right? But when we're talking about all of these, most of these things, when it comes to health and longevity, they don't show up like that.
Yeah.
So people are, well, I didn't notice anything. Well, fuck, you weren't supposed to notice anything. It's going to help a bigger picture. It's like if you get your goal is to become a fucking trillionaire, are you going to bitch because you're not there after the end of the fucking first quarter? No. If anything, you might fucking lose money in the first quarter trying to fucking, leverage yourself into that position. It's like, stop fucking wanting everything tomorrow.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. That's well, what I like about this too, Anderson, is that what's actually really cool about this is that you and I grew up in an era where it was implied trust because of Western media, Western medicine. That's what we were taught. So now we're in a world where there's new data, there's new information for us to go and lean into and learn about, right? Methylene and blue, red light therapy, peptides, things that weren't really readily. You got to trust it, so we got to go learn about our own trust. We got to go build our own trust through our own experiences, right? So it's actually good because we are able to talk from both sides of that, right? So you have somebody who's in their 30s or maybe 20s who hasn't been able to experience some of the knowledge that we were kind of pressed with, that, okay, you need to believe this, until we woke up one day going, oh, Kellogg's was telling us that we needed to eat raisins.
No shit. Here's another interesting thing though, brother. So this goes back to, I'm trying to think, it would have been 16, maybe somewhere in that vicinity, maybe 17, 18 at the latest. Basically my middle daughter, she had, pretty good acne, right? Where, we had to get her, we took her to the doctor. They put her on these different fucking acne medicines, which were fucking toxic, right? But it was like, you're trying to get the kid some relief. You know what I mean?
Yes, I do.
It wasn't fucking working. And so at the time, we watched her diet. We were doing everything we could. Because we knew when she'd eat poorly, it would flare it up. So we figured that out. She understood that. She was doing the foundational work. The medicine wasn't working. Well, there was this fucking light therapy that was basically found to be making a big difference in salons for different types of shit. Well, they came out with a fucking portable one, right?
Yes.
And it was, the thing was bucks at the time. They're pretty cheap now. But we got her this, and it wasn't, I don't remember the light. I don't believe it was a red light therapy, but it had different color lights. I remember that. You had to get the certain type of light for certain shit. And it made a fucking noticeable difference compared to any other remedy we had. So that told me, okay, there's something to this light thing. That opened my mind to it way back when. But again, I never really, I never got back into, my own personal research on it.
Well, I love it because it's partially rewiring beliefs, right? Because we grew up in a world where, let's face it, the doctor told your mom this, the mom told you this, that was gospel. That was it. Nobody questioned it. Nobody's like, oh, okay, so well, John, the doctor said this is what you have to do. And then it's just okay. So nobody ever questioned the fucking doctor. Nobody ever questioned the doctor. But then as we've gone, right?
And you're so correct in the fact that I totally get your knee-jerk reaction. That's it's another pie in the sky, another flash in the pan.
Yeah, well,
right?
Sure. Yeah.
So another thing that I do, let's compare this to business. So I start looking at my friends and even call them acquaintances or even associates.
Yes.
As the distance of the relationship gets stretched out.
Sure.
Okay. I look at the character of these people and who have taken this on as a regular part of their life. Much like if we were to be ready to make an investment, we'd be looking at the list of investors.
Absolutely.
Well, Elon Musk was in the
100%.
fucking list. We'd be going, well, Jesus Christ, I don't understand this, but I know he does. So we need to consider this a little closer.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
my research in terms of without doing it myself, I did everything with all of the information that I have available to me. I grabbed the real powerful pieces. And then someone that I love, that loves me, said, dude, listen, what the fuck are you doing?
Oh, so, and I'm with you there. And listen, so I can only imagine this. I'll pull something out of the air. If you said to me today, right now, Billis, you got cancer? Well, fuck, man.
Do this right now.
I am doing everything in my power because I want to live. Everything in my power to live, whether doctor says not working or working. I'm just using metaphors, but so I hear you. If you're in this pain, this uncomfortable pain, or your daughter's like, I got this acne, and it's like I got to figure out a fucking problem, but all of the traditional ways aren't working. Fuck, man, let's go find a way, right? So I'm all on that.
Check this out, and here's gives you an idea.
Yeah.
So this person, I'm not going to mention a name, and I'm even going to be careful with what he was doing because this topic could fucking really cause problems for fucking YouTube. Says I'm not making any claims. This is just me sharing information. So his wife had fucking cancer. And they were coming at her with every fucking different medical solution in the book. And he's like, hold the fucking phone.
Yes.
I'm trying first. He put together a fucking protocol with all of the things that we've known, which was everything from addition to elimination. She's fucking cancer free.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good morning, everybody. You guys can join the show with us live right now. Coming up in a few minutes, we got our guest Scott Dool. Joining us. I'm sorry, Shane Dool. Shane Dool coming up in a few minutes. Our cannabis expert, Johnny. This guy outsmarted the cops outside of the courts and outsmarted big tech. So we might be asking him why he was putting a bunch of crazy energy over there when he could be putting a bunch of crazy energy over here. Shane Dool dropping up here in a few moments. But guys, to join the show, second hour, 431-300-3005. And to those of you that are not watching the show live right now, well, I'm sorry, you're missing out on an unpredictable, fun conversation that gets after it every single day live, 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X.
Okay, our new teaser slate's live. Tell me that title doesn't stop the scroll.
It stops the scroll. It also starts questions.
Brian, look, it says no safe words. What's that supposed to mean?
That sounds like a warning, not a show.
We're not explaining it yet. We're earning curiosity. Curiosity, yes. Panic, maybe.
No, I'm not missing this. I'm recording it.
Why are you recording it?
Yes, Brianna Bass.
There we go. Am I back? I got no sound.
Was that better?
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, it kept, I was muted, then you were muted. It was just like somebody was happy.
I think our producers are at the sleep at the wheel over here. Actually, it's been an interesting morning to say the least. So
those are good. We learn a lot. We learn a lot from interesting mornings.
Oh, let me tell you, Anderson, the team is learning a lot today. I can assure you of that. The team is learning a lot today. But I was saying, Johnny, so we got these little commercial bits we're putting into these Storytime commercials, really in anticipation as we continue to grow this thing, where they're going to become monetized commercial type segments. So you'll notice that as I do call to actions, we're probably going to do a call to action direct to commercial. So just as you get kind of used to the segments and how they're rolling. You'll also remember this. A few months ago,
did you hear me say that you're making your mom sound like a fucking porn star with using safe word? And it's not just a normal porn star. This is like the ones where they're fucking got axes and fucking whips and shit. You know?
My mom and dad, Johnny, they're like, when are we getting
a fucking
royalty?
clue when she says safe word? Does she know what that means?
All I hear from them is this, Johnny. When are we getting royalty checks? I'm like, fuck, man, just stop asking me for royalty checks. Hey, a couple of months ago, I said to you that OpenAI was working on a device, and a leak dropped yesterday that at OpenAI being ChatGPT. A leak dropped yesterday that device, John, is going to be a pen/pencil.
Dude, you called it.
I did absolutely. Well, because it makes sense. You think about how inexpensive. So, because some of the rumblings were that it's going to be one of those things that everybody's going to carry. Well, it's unobtrusive. Yeah. It's a thin little thing, right? It's easy to put a battery in it. You can put a camera in it. You can put a microphone in it, and next thing you know, it's in your pocket. Charge it up, and it can last forever. So, yeah, it's coming up next year. Fascinating.
That's cool, bro.
I'll tell you what's cool.
Just the fact that you called that is cool. Is what I'm saying.
Dude, I read shit like there's no tomorrow, man. But I'll tell you what's also cool. I love watching nature, and I love watching when nature does crazy things in front of us. Check out this epic spot before we bring Shane Dewell in the lab here in a few moments. Check out this eagle, man. There's Jimmy, let's run this little clip, man. Check this guy out. So this guy's fishing. Look at this. So this guy catches this fish, and there's an eagle flying around. It's a catfish. And if you think you know what's going to happen, it actually fucking happens. There's this eagle. The eagle comes and grabs it out of the guy's hand. Like what? And we've talked about our dogs before. Well, look at this.
Oh, he caught it.
Yes.
That's fucking crazy, dude. I mean, there's all sorts of fucking videos going where people are sending me shit where you got some fucking porky later eating a fucking Coney Island hot dog.
Yeah. Yes.
And then the fucking bird, it's like a seagull comes and fucking grabs it. She's just left with a fucking palm full of onions and chili. You know, and who worse could you do that to? You know?
Oh, it's pretty awesome.
She's getting ready to fully make love to that thing, you know? And she's left with the aftermath in a dirty fucking palm.
Oh my god! Coming up in a few moments, we got Shane Dewell coming in here, and then we got then I got something which is pretty crazy.
A cool fucking video, dude. Just the fact that the guy knew.
Yes, it's like he was talking to the eagle, or it's like the eagle knew that. Okay, it's like the guy's like, so okay, if I throw it in the air, is the eagle going to catch it? And that's pretty neat, actually. I'll tell you what's neat too is
he was feeding nature either way. The fish was going to live and get bigger, or the eagle was going to have lunch. It was fucking cool as hell.
Yeah. Hey, have you ever ridden on a mechanical bull ride before? A mechanical bull? I have not. Have you?
Dude, every fucking year, I shouldn't say every year, the last couple of years at our 4th of July party at the lake, I shouldn't say one of my neighbors, a good buddy of mine, puts a full-blown production on. He has one of those.
Oh, yeah.
At the fucking party.
Dude, that is awesome. Check this out. Check out this this young man.
He rents it. He doesn't have one. He rents it.
Look at this young man sitting with his teacher. Look.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
What
he's young too.
That's what I mean. I'm like, what is going on?
And she doesn't quite get what's happening, does she?
No, because she's just trying to hang on to the bull. She's like, I'm just trying to stay on this thing.
What happened? Oh my God. What happens when that shit hits the fucking internet? And that boy is just fucking loving life.
He's just loving life, isn't he?
Look, he's got his hands right where they belong, too. Like he's getting ready to pull. He's learning early, dude.
Oh my God. There you go. The epic bull ride.
She still doesn't know.
So when you've done bull riding, how long have you lasted on a bull? Like, have you been on for a long time?
You didn't listen very closely. I said he has one there. I didn't say I fucking did it.
Oh, well, I know. Oh, so I
Jesus
noticed you left the key part out of that answer. I heard.
No, I didn't leave anything out. I just told you there was one at the yearly party. I didn't leave shit out. You had envisioned something that I never said.
Oh my God. I've never ridden on a mechanical bull. I'm kind of intrigued, but remember when Urban Cowboy?
I agree with you. I've never ridden on one. I'm intrigued, but I'll probably die of not satisfying that intrigue.
Yeah, you and me both. But do you remember when Urban Cowboy came out? John Travolta. It was a thing. Remember Nation? Remember Holroyd? Remember Sullivan? Remember that? It was a fucking big thing,
dude. This is so fucking weird, dude. Jesus Christ, this is like getting kind of fucking silly. We're out to fucking start. This is like entanglement. I think though it's called quantum physics. Last night, I'm gonna do some vertical work. I had to get fucking way caught up on social media. I was right to the button where nothing was scheduled. Right?
Yeah.
So I had an easy 90 minutes to get myself the padding that I need.
Yes.
Get all the videos. And I'm like, well, let's just put a fucking movie on that I've seen before, right? Because it was kind of that time.
Did you put on that fucking movie?
I was deciding between that one and another one.
Jesus mercy.
I swear to God, I'm like, you're fucking kidding me, dude. Jesus Christ.
Oh my God, man. That's fucking funny. That's just ridiculous how funny
it is. Fucking weird. Dude. There's so many of these things happening to us now. It's fucking fruity.
It's absolutely it's like we're living in these parallel universes. Dude. Speaking of parallel, we're supposed to have Shane Dool in here, but Johnny, he's a cannabis guy. So one of a few things happened. He maybe slept in, maybe he got blasted last night, maybe he's blasted this morning.
I don't know. This morning, yeah. I was actually gonna ask you, when do you hit your joints fucking first thing? What's the first one of the day?
It kind of depends on how the day goes, really. It just I don't really have a rhyme or a reason
thing for the day. Is it a cool off or is it a creative thing or what is it? What's the trigger?
Or a little bit of both. Good trigger. So if I have to get into deep work, or if I'm just sitting down to put my head into something and get into some deep work, I find it's certainly helpful for me to focus. Whether that's real or whether it's imagined, it's certainly. And I know there's research that talks about dopamine hits and everything, but when I got to do deep work, I certainly will puff one and sit down and I'll just get into a zone, right? But there's not, so whether it's, so I don't consume before the show at all, actually. It's just because I have it. I just get downstairs, do my gym thing and I get the show going. I just don't.
Yeah.
Whether it's 9 a.m., 10 a.m., noon, 1 o'clock, but it's just like drinking water for me, to be frank with you. I don't really have a trigger per se. It's just kind of.
No, I mean, I totally get it. I mean, now it sounds like I've kind of taken on nicotine with okay, I'm gonna fucking focus hard here. So boom, let's go.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, it absolutely helps me focus. Like I can just get into a big zone and close everything else and just and get after it. Speaking of getting after it, guys, you guys can join the show with us 431-300-3005. Phone lines are going to open in the second hour. Get you guys what you guys are talking about here in 2026. 431-300-3005. And if you're not joining us live, let's run commercial number 2, Jimmy. If you're not joining us live, come see us live 8 o'clock Eastern time right here on YouTube, LinkedIn, and X.
If it makes you uncomfortable, we're probably talking about it.
Uncomfortable means somebody's hiding something.
That line's a hook. People hear it and lean in because it sounds like trouble.
It's not trouble, it's honesty.
Keep it tight. One sentence that dares them to stay.
With Brianna Bass, clinical sexologist.
Clinical sexologist.
Is that a real thing?
Yes, Brianna Bass joining us next Tuesday, Keith and Johnny. Hey, on Monday, John, next Monday, this Monday coming up actually, is they call it actually Divorce Day. So I think we're going to talk about divorce on Tuesday. The first Monday of the new year, typically with lawyers, is the highest day that folks come in looking for divorce after the holidays.
That it's holidays supposed to be this fucking amazing time, and they just crank up so much fucking stress and anxiety. It's almost like they're fucking so counterproductive compared to what they're supposed to be.
Dude, you're so bang on. And then it's like everybody's waiting for Monday. It's like, okay, I can't wait to get to my lawyer on Monday so I can go get out of this relationship. But yeah, Monday is big. It's called Divorce Day. And I was doing some research yesterday. It trends every year. First week of the year, lawyers notice a significant spike when people are coming in saying, I'm done. It is crazy. I'll tell you what's also crazy is, so I found a clip. I want to run it, and we're going to run it in a few different segments because I think you'll be fascinated because I know you're a curious dude like I am. Eric Schmidt, former chairman of Google, it's recorded there's a piece recorded where he talks about, I'm just trying to find the spot here. He says in a recent interview clip shared by AI Curator, he warns that combining three things in the world of AI is going to create something that eventually we won't understand what it is doing. So, Jimmy, if you got this clip,
say that again. Say that again. I want to follow that all the way through.
Yeah, I know, because I want you to follow along. So there's he's going to talk about three different variables that when they come together, AI is going to start doing things that eventually we won't understand what it's doing. Now, Jimmy, before you run the clip, I'm going to set it up with John and myself. So he's going to talk about three things. He's going to talk about an infinite context window. What is that? That's where you type into Chat GPT. Simple as that. So when you type into Chat GPT right now, you can ask a sentence, a paragraph, but we know that there's a limit to how much we can ask it. Right now, the technology says you can only ask it like 1,000 words or 10. I'm using some simple things, but it says you can only put 10,000 words in. After that, it doesn't know it. Okay. So, but they're talking about infinite, which means you can put unlimited. Think about War and Peace. Think about these massive contexts, right? So we're going to talk about that. And then he's going to talk about autonomous agents. And you've heard about that these days, these AI that do things on their own, right? Book plane tickets for you, order shopping for you, these autonomous agents, right? So think one component, infinite context window. So your ability to ask a question that has 1 trillion words on it. The second thing, having these agents do its own thing. And then the third thing he's going to talk about, John, is text to action AI, which is essentially making things instantly. So for example, you and I right now, you're like, hey, Keith, that conversation with red light therapy, we could in theory create a red light therapy video or movie or text or image in real time instantly using this text to action AI. He's going to talk about when they all come together. Jimmy, let's run the first part of the clip and I'll tell you when to stop it so I can keep explaining this to John.
Three things going on now that are going to profoundly change the world very quickly. The first is basically this question of context window. And for non-technical people, the context window is the prompt that you ask. So, study John F. Kennedy or something. Right. But in fact, that context window can have 1 million words in it. And this year, people are inventing a context window that is infinitely long. And this is very important because it means that you can take the answer from the system and feed it in and ask it another question. So I want a recipe. Let's say I want a recipe to make a drug or something. So they say, what's the first step? And it says, buy these materials. So then you say, okay, I bought these materials. Now what's my next step? And then it says, buy a mixing pan. And then the next step is, how long do I mix it for? You see, it's a recipe. That's called chain of thought reasoning. And it generalizes really well. We should be able, in 5 years, for example, to be able to produce 1,000-step recipes to solve really important problems in science, in medicine, in material science, climate change, that sort of thing. That's the first one. Second one is agents.
Jimmy, stop that. So there, okay, so the recipe. So right now, what we're able to do, John, is we're able to say, okay, you can only put a 10-step recipe in the context window. Let's just pretend today in 2025, 2026, you can only put a 10-step recipe into Chat GPT. Fair? Understand that, right?
Yep.
Clear?
Yep.
In the future, there'll be no finite amount of how big that recipe can be. So you're like, I want to solve cancer. I want to build a nuclear bomb. I want to do these crazy things. That recipe can be unlimited. Today, when it gives you the answer, you can't take that answer and put it back into the context window because it doesn't have the ability to take that full answer.
This is like, it's not even doing it justice by saying this is taking it from addition to multiplication, because multiplication is not powerful enough. This would be like the difference of, say, buying a stock versus buying an option.
Yes. Yeah. 100%.
That option,
100%.
the exponential upside is almost uncalculatable, especially if it's an option that's shut up on a short period of time with a big stretch.
Great example. Jimmy, let's keep running this clip. Great example. Keep running the clip, Jimmy.
Can be understood as a large language model that knows something new or has learned something. So an example would be read all of chemistry, learn something about chemistry, have a bunch of hypotheses about chemistry, run some tests in a lab about chemistry, and then add that to your agent. These agents are going to be really powerful, and it's reasonable to expect that agents will be, not only will there be a lot of them, and I mean millions, but they'll be like the equivalent of GitHub for agents. There'll be lots and lots of agents running around and available to you. And the third one,
Jimmy,
which to me is the most...
So what that would mean now, John, is that taking your recipe, so you got your 1,000-step recipe, to make this incredible, it's whatever you're making. So take that 1,000-step recipe, and now the agent will do it for you autonomously. Okay, so go and learn a bunch of new science to go and solve cancer. Okay, well, I'm going to go read whatever's possible out there. I'm going to go read it all, and then I'm going to come up with some new hypothesis. If you think about it today, John, it's humans that come up with hypothesis, right? John Petrocelli would say, okay, I got a hypothesis on this is what's going to do this, and he goes runs tests. Well, these agents will do that themselves. No human intervention.
Yeah, I mean, this is the crazy part about this is it's exponential good coupled with bad.
100%. Jimmy, run the third part, because here's where it gets crazy, kind of science fiction-y. Jimmy?
Which is already beginning to happen is text to action. And what that is write me a piece of software to do something, right? You just say it. I mean, can you imagine having programmers that actually do what you say you want? And it does it 24 hours a day. And strangely, these systems are good at writing code such as language like Python. You put all that together, and you've got infinite context window, the ability for agents, and then the ability to do this programming. Now, this is very interesting. What then happens? There's a lot of questions here, and now we get into the questions of science fiction. I'm sure the three things I've named are happening because that work is happening now. But at some point, these systems will get powerful enough that you'll be able to take the agents and they'll start to work together. At some point, people believe that these agents will develop their own language. And that's the point when we don't understand what we're doing. You know what we should do? Pull the plug.
And that's what he's talking about, Johnny, is that these agents start creating this new language based on their own learnings, is that there'll be a point where they're communicating and we are not understanding what they are saying.
100%. Now, here's the fucking billion, trillion, whatever the biggest fucking number, infinity question.
Yeah.
Dollar question. He says, what should we do? Unplug. Is that even possible now? I mean, fuck.
No.
I don't think
you can't put the genie back. You can't put the genie back in the bottle.
It'll continue to survive. This thing is like a fucking cockroach.
Well, because here's the concerns, Anderson, is that you got a bad state actor, right? You got the guy running Korea. You got the guys running Iran. You got the guys running a state that maybe does not agree with democracy. Well, they're not listening to the normal rules of society. They're like, no, fuck, wait a minute, we can go and control the world with this technology. Like, so
yeah, I mean, you can't put the genie back at this point.
No. And that's the race that maybe people aren't seeing, because I work and live in this world daily. That's the race that many aren't seeing in normal society, is this technology underlining that's happening. And there's a race happening, right? Because the West / North America, we need to have the upper edge over those that could get the upper edge. And if you can't see it, it's hard to imagine it. But just imagine like just back to the kind of nuclear bombs and technology that we grew up with that was going to wreck the world. We never wanted the bad actors to get a hold of that stuff. Well, this type of tech is not as complicated as that in many ways. So, you get this into the hands of a bad actor and we're kind of fucked.
So going deep into the conspiracy theorists, right?
Yes. So let's do it.
The thing of of like our nukes, like there's been multiple cases, believed or not, they say they have proof of this. I'm not saying what I believe. I'm just talking about what's been let loose, that we're testing fucking nukes and call it UFOs. Something is grabbing these things and keeping them from being tested or whatever the fuck we're doing. I don't know if we're moving them, but it looks like we could be firing one off and boom, it'll be taken and disappear. So when AI gets to the point where it's that dangerous, are we going to have intervention from whatever it is that did it with the nukes, if that's a real thing?
I know, it makes me wonder too. Well, so listen, they China this week, they're for some reason it seems like China is entering our conversation a lot these days, maybe because it's in my feeds or because they're so far advanced, technology advanced. But Anderson, they just dropped their Terminator robots with their police forces this week. So Keith and John are on the street patrolling. Like we're in Winnipeg patrolling the street right now. Keith and John, Poncho and John from Chips. We have our third wheel. It's a Terminator type robot. That's our third partner now. He's a robot, cameras, sensors, guns, everything. And it's so now when two guys go out on the streets, there's the third person with them, and it's the robot. It's just to your point, man.
And
it's
the
just,
third person that can't be fucking shot. That
Right, exactly. Hey, you guys can join the show. This live right now. 431-300-3005. The phone lines will be open in the second hour. Come phone, leave a voicemail or send a text. How are you feeling about 2026, you guys? Are you feeling like it's a 1 or are you feeling like it's a 10? Come say hi in the comments. Come like, come subscribe, and come join us live every single day. 8 o'clock Eastern time. YouTube, LinkedIn, and Jimmy, and X.
We lead with the title. Right. We say clinical sexologist like we're announcing the weather.
Like it's partly cloudy with a chance of naughty.
That title says what this is. Education, honesty, no pretending.
Second you hear it, you've got questions you didn't know you had.
I'm looking up what a clinical sexologist actually does.
Don't act like you're doing homework, Brian.
I know that we love looking at people who are awesome at doing exceptional things, right? Like we've talked about athletes. We talked about that guy who was making popcorn yesterday, and people that just put a lot of, I guess, skill. Or we look Leonardo DiCaprio, his handshake, that guy who was doing that lift. These subtle details that experts are so great at. Do you remember Lord? Did you watch Lord of the Rings growing up, or did you spend any time watching Lord of the Rings?
No.
No, do you know of the movie though? You know of it though, right?
Yeah, I know of it, but if like you asked me what to summarize it, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. There's an actor in it, Andy Serkis, and he won an Academy Award for this. Actually, he was Gollum, one of the most defining behind the scenes stories. So look at his look. This is his actual. This was when he rehearsed for the role.
There's no promise you can make that I can trust.
Look, this was his audition. It's if you haven't seen the movie, it's hard for you to wrap your heads around it because you'll see when he gets transferred into all the CGI. But that was his audition, and when he did the audition, the director, Phil Jackson, says Peter Jackson basically just let him do his movements. They motion captured it, but his approach revolutionized how actors and animators brought stuff like that to life moving forward because of how fucking good this guy was with his craft, right? Like, and you just see like that.
Brother, that's full commitment.
Yes,
and what we're liking with these people.
Yeah,
is there's no inhibition. You know what I mean? They are fully committed to something, and that's you can't help but to be drawn to that.
You know what? I like how you put that. I never thought about it that way, but you're right. What we are drawn to, and you use what we are, is their full commitment. You take Caprio's handshake, like an obscure handshake. Then it was like, what do you mean it's a handshake? But no, watch how he did it.
That Look was at the commitment for the thing in the world he knew was coming for about 3 seconds.
Yeah. Yes. Or the guy doing popcorn yesterday, right? And now this guy. So to your point, you're absolutely right. And actually, in many ways, Jimmy and Jericho, Melissa, that's kind of like my attitude this morning, right? Like when you're a master at something, it's that commitment to the finest detail, isn't it? Back to the handshake.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, when we commit to being ourselves,
the
same fucking thing.
Yeah. Yes. The finest
it's
details.
Most people, I mean, even if you don't really know who you are, but you're committed to finding it, you can sense that.
Yes. Yeah, that was Gollum there. Put that back up there, Jimmy, because I want Johnny to see that. So that was Gollum. So that was the so Andy Serkis, you saw the actor. That's what he looked like in the movie. So they actually motion captured him. Yes, Rico, the BS guy is on today. He's yes, Dr. John Petrocelli will be joining us in about 5 minutes. Rico,
Petro's here today. Fuck yeah, baby. I love
Petro's it. Yeah, absolutely. Petra's joining us on Friday. So I bumped him from our 8:30 slot
I totally
to our 9
forgot it
o'clock.
was fucking Friday. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so, well, it's a really messed up week, man. It's because it's been that New Year's Christmas week in the middle. It's messed a lot of people up. But yeah, that was Gollum. That was the guy that was Andy Serkis who did the movie, and that was Gollum, what you look like after that along the way there. So all right, Jimmy. So I do have,
bro, as we break this down.
Yeah,
you could say probably that people. It just shows how uncommitted people are because they're so drawn to people with full commitment.
Mm-hmm. Think about. I saw a video of Steph Curry shooting a fucking 12-point. He shot it from way across. I'm going to exaggerate, but it's like he was way across the arena and he threw the ball and ended up in the net. Right? Like he fucking swooshed it.
Dude,
like that's commitment.
Yeah, well, and check this out. Another fucking I'm not huge in basketball, but I just some buddies send me this stuff because this is inspiring shit. You know what I mean?
Yes.
He's just warming up. He's not on his court. He's in some other court, some other away, game.
Yeah.
And he's fucking dribbling the ball, and he finds a fucking dead spot in the fucking floor because the ball didn't come back up to his hand. Think about the millisecond that he sensed. He's fucking dribbled that ball between. It was doing it between his legs too, of all things. He knew
incredible.
The timing of that ball coming back up so perfectly. And the guy that was tested the dead spot had a hard time registering it was there, but that's how small it was.
We've so let's lean this in. So let's take this. Let's take that basketball situation you just said, battling, dribbling it on the floor, right? So two words are coming to mind for me, right? Interest and commitment. Think about that, right? So he's committed to being the best basketball player, and but it's leaned to his interests. And it's so I guess what I'm trying to say is when I think about the elite, whether it's actors, actresses, athletes, business people, it is that undeniable commitment to an interest. Undeniable commitment to an interest. Like that's it. It's there's actually it's no more complicated than that.
Well, then check this out. 100%. Your interest is so strong. You do something so much. You're able to sense and feel things other people can't. Check this out. So if I was training
like the basketball thing. Yeah.
Yeah. When I would be training in a gym, that was not my place where I trained regularly.
Yes.
If I was squatting or deadlifting heavy, because where I would train, we actually had the fucking 45s weight. There would be a white pen mark on how much it weighed because most people know you got 40 fucking twos. They're rarely 45s.
Yes.
So I'd load up, I'd get up to one of my peak sets and I would just fucking pick it up and I would just sit there for a second. And I could tell you that I had too many heavies or lights on one side.
No shit.
We had to strip it back down and start shuffling fucking weights until I found where it was going to be okay. I mean, it's crazy that we're talking 700 to 800 pounds on my back and I'm feeling roughly 10 or 12 pound variance.
But again, commitment to an interest. You're so determined to be fucking the best at it. It's like you could tell that those ounces, the little bit of difference of weight, because right? It's actually it's as ridiculous as that.
No, it's crazy. I mean, you're thinking in these type of call it miniature masteries exist everywhere when you look at a person who's done something. And I'm going to say it's got to be at least 20 years. I'd probably 30 would be even better of doing something.
Well, so Cena, again, referring to that conversation Cena did with Cody Rhodes, and he talked about, he's like, when you see a master in the ring, how do you frame it? He's like, when you see somebody who's a master at something, like basically somebody's in the, who's in the ring, who's a master at it, you can't, it's very difficult for a normal person to understand all the work that went in for that master to make it look as easy as it is for you to watch. So you're like, fuck, the guy's making it look. So because he was laughing about when guys get in the ring for the first time, they're like, oh, this is like a fucking trampoline. It's all soft and cushy. He's like, oh yeah, you wait. But his point was that to be a master, for somebody to watch it, man, they make it look so easy. You have no clue how difficult it is. I've been doing this so often, which is why I make it look so easy to you.
Dude, I can personally attest to a kind of a different side of that, but the same thing.
Yeah.
I was never one of these guys that really, really understood the art, right?
Oh, so, okay. Yeah.
Because I could do it, and I could do my job, which was fucking look strong, do heavy shit, pick people over my head, stand on the ropes and flex and get people out of their seats. But I hadn't been doing it long enough. I mean, my whole fucking wrestling career, including learning and, my last fucking match was it was just over 7 years, right?
Interesting.
Many of these fucking guys have been doing it for, between the time they started until the time they retire, the 30, 35, 40 range, Anyway. Yeah, so I would often be put in the ring with someone who was that master because they knew I could follow their lead, and all I had to do was get in there and listen. And they could sense it all. They knew what needed to happen. I mean, the perfect example was probably where I sensed it the most was Chavo Guerrero Jr. Oh, fuck, dude.
Oh, yeah.
We got fucking, all I knew, only thing I fucking knew was the finish. That was the first time I'd ever been in the ring with that little bit of instruction.
All you knew was the finish.
Yeah, that's it. Because it was his finishing move. I'm going to give you this to go over.
No shit. So the whole time it was just spots along the way, eh? Just basically grappling head here. We're doing this spots along the way until the finisher. That's fucking cool, man.
I mean, we locked up. Cool. We locked up. He goes, fucking push me down. Pow. Snapped him to his back. He fucking gets up, holding his back. You know what I mean? We get back in there. We get back in there, and he's all do it again, but make it bigger, right? And it's just and it was like, but see, this was an interesting match because we were in it was the Alamo Dome, and that fucking place is so big. In many cases, you only have people on three sides of you because it's like a fucking 90,000 seater, right? So they just put you in. Anyway, so that meant that he could be looking away from the crowd and just fucking literally just talk to me. So he was just having a full blown conversation in there.
That's pretty cool, man. That's super cool.
And he understood.
All right,
he goes,
coming up.
Because real quick, I had him on my podcast. He says, oh, yeah, dude. He goes, we just met that day. I knew that you were green. I knew that what you could do and what you couldn't do. And I knew that I had a whole side that I could fucking just talk to you like I wanted to. So I didn't need to call it. I just needed to tell you how we were going to finish. And I was like, fuck.
That's so fucking cool, man. I love hearing these behind the scenes stuff. Well, and that's why, when people watch our show and they come to me saying, wow, man, you guys are so good at what you do. Well, you don't recognize all the work that goes in behind the scenes. And it's not to be dismissive of it, but I hope that you would think we're good at it because we're trying to be masters at it, which is what we're trying to do here. Hey guys, Johnny, lifestyle tip coming to you, reset hour 2, then we're going to bring Petro in. But guys, you guys can join the show with us live right now after the commercial. Johnny, you're up. You guys can join the show with us live right now with us or in the Mornings in the Lab community to join the show. 431-300-3005. Dr. John Petrocelli is coming up in 2 minutes. We're going to get into the deep dive on the Georgetown Study. We're going to talk leadership. And to those of you that are not watching the show live right now, where the hell are you? Come see us in the Mornings in the Lab community. Get up, get after it live, 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube, LinkedIn, Jimmy, and X.
It says it's not tips and tricks, thank God.
That's too bad.
We say it clean: desire, shame, power, communication. Stuff people pretend doesn't exist while it runs the whole house.
That's a bold accusation before breakfast.
Turn it up. I want to hear exactly what they're saying.
I don't want to hear it in surround sound.
Well, first off, I got to give the AI creators some fucking credit because you made me a way better dancer than I would ever be if that was a live clip right there. So thank you for giving me some moves. Anyway, lifestyle tip time. We're talking about a behavior pattern. Behavior patterns, they will make or break you, whether you realize it or not. And the crazy part about our own personal behavior patterns is if we don't really pay attention, we don't do enough self-analysis, let's call it. These behavior patterns just continue. And because they're so normal to us, they're so familiar, they feel right. And the behavior pattern we're talking about today is waiting. Because the odds are that statistically, most of you guys are waiting until fucking Monday to execute this goddamn silly New Year's resolution that you fucking do every year. And then you wait and you find yourself in the same fucking spot. So here's the thing. If you're waiting to start on Monday, which again, statistically, most of you are, let's not worry about the micro that you're fucking waiting this year. Let's worry about the fucking macro. You've done this for the last however many years in a row. And the pattern, the behavior pattern needs to stop. Because you're not just waiting to start your New Year's resolution. You're fucking waiting your whole life. That's why your shit doesn't move. That's why you're in the same fucking spot you were last time you made this fucking silly New Year's resolution that didn't work. So start looking at the macro. Look at your behavior patterns. Because if you're a waiter, if you're waiting, I can almost guarantee you this. You'll be waiting again next year. Rock and roll.
Good morning. Good morning. Welcome back to Mornings in Live with Keith, John, and friends. We're getting up, getting after it every single day live right here on 8 o'clock Eastern time, YouTube and LinkedIn and X. This is hour 2. Yes, hour 1. We stumbled into the show here this morning. We talked a little bit about the Drake, Adin, Ross situation. Are they scamming you guys? Or are they telling the truth? Or does Drake just have an album dropping here in a few weeks? So this news is making waves right now to make us talk about it. Hey, I'm just a skeptical dude. Maybe a little bit of kayfabe happening out there in the Drake and Adin Ross camp. We also got into the conversation with Eric Schmidt, the CEO, the former CEO of Google, talked about the 3 things that are coming together in the world of AI and what we need to be watching out for. John and Keith had a debate about red light therapy. We did. We talked about red light therapy in that first hour, and then we showed the bucking bull. Have you guys rode a mechanical bull? Well, I would invite you to go check that segment out in the first hour, as well as, the eagle and the fish. What am I talking about? Go check it out. Eagle and the Fish, hour 1, Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Hey, guys, you guys can join the show with us, 431-300-3005. Phone, text, or leave a voicemail, or come say hi in the comments. Jimmy, let's get into it. Let's keep the show rocking and rolling before we do the deep dive this morning on Mornings in the Lab.
Porn, fantasy, kink, shame, desire. You can't heal what you won't name.
Did he just say porn on a morning show?
Silence wrecks relationships. Not cheating, not money, but silence.
If you've got questions you've been too embarrassed to ask those closest to you, this new show is the place for you.
I've got a question.
Honey, what does a sexologist know that I don't?
Your leadership isn't your best day. It's your default under stress. Under heat, most guys don't lead. They clamp down and call it standards. Standards need a system. Tie one habit to a trigger you already hit daily. My pick is one question first. What do you need from me right now? Nation, what's your default? Quiet, sharp, or controlling?
All right. Let's bring him up, the doc himself. What's going on, Dr. John Pody? What are you reading this morning?
Oh, hey.
What are you reading today? Show us.
classic issue of Ghost Rider.
Oh, nice. So I understand. I'm concerned we
What
might
is
bring
Ghost
Petro
Rider?
into the show one. Yeah.
What's Ghost Rider?
Johnny Blaze defending people who can't defend themselves and are innocent victims.
So the question is, do you read the whole thing?
Oh yeah, this is a
There we go. Okay.
definite 100% read.
I'm wondering though, Anderson, if we're going to welcome Petro into the lab one day, and he might be holding a magazine that we found in our uncle and our friend's dad's bathrooms one day, Anderson. But
well, he's reading the whole thing there.
That's Happy New Year's, Petro. How are you, brother?
Happy New Year. Excellent, guys.
How was your visit with Dad? Before we get into the business of things, the most important question was, how was your visit with Dad over the holidays? I know you spent some time with Dad in Pittsburgh. How was that?
Very good. But we had too much snow. We weren't able to get out and about. I'd wanted to do some things, outside, but we sort of got snowed in there. But it was good. It was good to see him.
Awesome. Well, we got folks waiting for you here today. Rico's like, hey, is the BS guy on the show today? I said, yes, he is on the show today. And today, John, I want to talk about the Georgetown. There's a study that came out of Georgetown University about leadership insight and linking it to habits and so forth. And I thought, based on this void week of last week at 25, first week at 26, there's leaders, there's business guys, there's humans that are like, okay, I guess 2026 is a chance to restart my life, restart some leadership habits. Let's get into that Georgetown study and talk about habits that stick and how leaders can make habits that stick. Where do you want to start this, John?
Well, I actually took a look at that study, the actual study. So yes. I did see an Inc.com, a science journalist report of the study.
Interesting.
Okay. And the implications that might be there for leaders and individuals who just want to develop more positive habits. And
so Petro, set the study up for Anderson first, if we can. Can you set the study up for us?
Well, the actual study first was done with rats, and it's a neurological study that looks at a particular protein and its activity in association with dopamine activity.
Yeah.
So when rats learn an association between a cue and a reward, which is essential to habit forming, this particular protein and dopamine are active. So there's an association with them. So they really zoomed in on, well, what's happening at the initial learning stage, like the first 5 to 7 repetitions of a cue being paired with a reward. That was the study. All right. There was
real quick, a question, brother. Could you define protein? Because like most people are thinking you're talking about fucking chicken or protein powder. Define protein.
Yeah. Oh, this was actually very, very specific protein. I think it went by the name of KCCA something or other. So this is actually like a protein structure, a molecule.
So we could be lending this towards more like a peptide, if you will.
Perhaps,
yeah.
But
so that's the type of level we're talking, like really microscopic level of protein.
Yes, they're looking at the chemical activity of this very specific protein structure.
Okay.
So the study actually had nothing at all to do with human habit forming and leadership. The study was really zooming in on like what particular chemicals are active in the brain, specifically dopamine. So it's not such that dopamine is being added once this protein is active. It's just that dopamine receptors, neurotransmitters in the brain, are more active in association with the activity of this protein in the body. So they just really zoomed in on within rats how during the learning stage what chemicals are active. That's really it. There was nothing new about that we learned from the study about the timing of a cue and a reward. So the sensationalization of the study is really what got a lot of action and got a lot of got a lot of attention. It wasn't actually the study itself. It's what the science journalists did with the research afterwards. And so they're what they tried to extrapolate from the study was really nothing new. We already know that if you pair a cue, sort of what we usually call as a conditioned stimulus. So the classic example is a bell. You ring a bell and then to feed the dog, right? So the dog will associate the bell with food, the reward, right?
Or even the sound of moving his food bag.
Anything. It could be anything. It could be it could be the hat you're wearing, John. I mean, it could be anything that they notice. So we've known for about 100 years now that the conditioned stimulus, the cue, sort of the neutral stimulus, needs to be presented just before the reward, just before the food to associate the two. You can't have, ring the bell and then 20 minutes later the food comes out, right? And this is sort of the problem with forming habits, is that the rewards of something like exercise or weight training may not come until weeks later, right? So it's tough to associate a particular behavior or a stimulus like a barbell with.
Well, it's interesting you say that, Petro, because John and I kicked off the show today. John's undergoing some red light therapy right now. I don't expect you heard it, but I said to John, like, how do we know it works, right? So, for example, when I go outside, I'll use Johnny's example all the time. When you go outside and it's raining, you're going to get wet. Okay, rain equals wet. I know rain gets me. It works. It gets me wet. Well, it's like saying, John, how do you know the red light therapy is working? Petro, you're saying the same thing with some of these studies, this habit response, that if you don't get the immediate response, we don't know if it essentially works. That's what you're saying, aren't you, Petro? That's exactly what you're saying.
Yes, but one of the things to keep in mind with the reports of the science journalist reports of the study, is that it was actually science journalists actually took a summary of the article, not the actual article. So I suspect they didn't actually read the source article that came out.
Yeah.
So you go back just maybe the third rabbit hole, you find the actual study. But one thing that they did do, I think, in the science journalist report was remind people that if you pair that particular reward and the cue with something that's already rewarding. So if you time something that you want to become a habit, a behavior that you want to become a habit, and something like
talk about associations, correct? Associations.
Yes. So if you what we call, I mean, we've known this for well over probably 50 years now, this idea of habit stacking.
Yes.
So if you say like, okay, well, I already have the habit of drinking a cup of coffee every morning. And what I want to do is I want to be more consistent in my meditation. So each morning when I have my cup of coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. This can be very effective, right? Because already, like, you enjoy maybe the caffeine or the hit of coffee, and that's a habit for you. And there's an emotion associated with that. So I can then associate the positive emotion of drinking the coffee with meditation, which would come right before the meditation. Or if I say, well, once I get home, I take off my shoes, I will immediately change to my workout clothes.
Yes.
So I can show, well, I like finishing the day, coming home, and then and I'm going to pair something that I want to become a habit with something that naturally happens. So the report mentions this, and I think that's where, if you are a leader or if you're trying to form a business and you're marketing, you pair sort of your advertising, your marketing effects at times in which people already find rewarding, like sort of like at the end of the day or just before a meal. It's called cue timing, but it's really stacking it with something that's already rewarding, something that's already emotionally positive effects.
That cup of coffee is a great one because I use that with I use it myself, but then I use it with my clients. But I explain to them it's twofold. Number one, it's that positive association. You already have this, you look forward to that cup of coffee. So you're something that you're going to do. You like to do it, you enjoy it, and you do it every day. So it's not only a positive association, it's a trigger. So you can't say you're forgetting to do the thing anymore because that cup of coffee serves two purposes now.
Absolutely. Yeah. And it's okay. I think it's okay to use, it's a little bit of a mind hack, mind confusion. If I associate the reward of the coffee, or, if I have something, just before a meal and the enjoyment of those things, I can then associate with that with something that I want to change. It can be very effective. So we call it, habit stacking or habit pairing. But that's nothing new. We've known this for a long time. So there really wasn't anything other than sort of a sensationalization of what we already know. It didn't really, the idea that if we understand the neurological mechanisms that are sort of working underneath the surface during this time is going to make us better at marketing or forming habits in ourselves and others. That I'm not so sure that's true. That's where the sort of the bullshitty sensationalization of science journalism comes into play.
You just said something which jumps out at me. Science journalism. I got to think that must be a massive source of science bullshit.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, it happens every day and unfortunately these bullshitty reports get more attention and press than the actual science. So you go back to
the National Enquirer gets more attention than the fucking than the LA Times,
Yeah. Let me give you an example of this too. There's a study you guys mentioned a couple of weeks back, the physical capacity study. Where it claimed that physical capacity drops off at age roughly for men and women at about age 35.
Yes.
And so I actually tracked down that study, and I have a question for you. What percentage of the normal population engages in regular weight training? Regular weight training, like consistent weight.
At what age?
Okay.
At what age?
Let's just say even age 35. What
I was going to say at 35, that number's fucking dwindled off pretty good, I would imagine. But that's a good question, Petro. But I think it's lower than my knee-jerk reaction. So I'm going to say, less than 25%. Maybe if I had to put a pin, maybe I'll say 17. I don't know why that number came to mind.
That's not a bad guess.
What is it?
Most people. Well, so what most people report is that they do regular exercise. About 25% of the population says that they do regular exercise. Okay, like maybe three times a week. That's what they say.
Okay.
But when you look at observational studies, only about 8% of the normal population engages in regular, consistent exercise. Okay.
Jesus Christ.
So when you take it to weight training, okay, I'm not talking about just regular, walking, running, calisthenics exercise. I'm talking about weight training. It's much less. My guesstimate is that it's much less than 1%. So that study though, they didn't actually say this, but it was sensationalized by social science journalists that said, well, no matter how much you exercise, you're gonna have a drop off. You're gonna start declining roughly at about age 35.
Bullshit.
Okay, but so when you look at the actual data. So let me give you another question. All right, when you look at the normal population, what do you think their ability to do no weight on the barbell, just a 45-pound barbell? Okay, the bench press. So they used a bench press test among other cardio types of lifts and exercises, but for lifting capacity. They tested men and women with just a barbell, and you've got to have at least 25 reps, touch the chest, full extension per minute. But you can stay on there as long as you can go, as long as you're doing 25 reps per minute and you don't rack the bar. Okay, as soon as you rack the bar, you're done.
Question.
You can hold the bar, so you can hold the bar, but you can't rack it. Okay, so you can yes.
Was this test with the bar, which would be a non-cardio type exercise, borderline cardio, because if you're in there a long time.
Yeah.
But was this one put first, or was it put after other cardiovascular tests? Because if the blood sugars drop from those first tests, this performance is going to be way down.
Good question. That's unclear from the report. I had the same sort of question that. Absolutely, it would be
because we could skew the shit out of that if we got it exhausted and then fucking whatever bar those numbers would be a quarter of what they would be.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Well, what they got at the average though for 35-year-old men was about 52 reps. So 52 reps. You've got to have 25 per minute, at least 25 per minute, and then as soon as you rack the bar, you're finished. Now. That is concerning to me. This is clearly not a sample. So their sample was slightly over 400 participants, about 200 men. And the average at 35 was about 52 reps. I mean, these are clearly not people that are engaged in weight training regularly. So I don't believe that the study actually had participants they have such a low average. I mean, we did this at the gym that I used to lift at, and we had these challenges that you'd come in the gym and like there was a weekly challenge, and the challenge was just the bar, 45-pound bar, and you get 11 minutes total, and the goal was to try to get 500 reps. All right, and most guys were getting like 300 reps. 400 reps.
You want to know my version of this, dude? My version of this, and I used to do this all the fucking time. 405 on the bar. You're warmed up. You're ready to go. The clock starts. You got 1 hour. You got to get 100 reps. How few sets can you bring in 100 reps?
Yeah.
That's the type. That's the extreme version of this fucking pathetic. I never for everybody. I never quite got to 3 sets. I would always miss it by a couple. So I always had to get like 4 or 5 reps on my 4th set.
Yeah. Now that's a test. That's a test. But anyway, what point I'm making though is that the reports that came out by science journalists wrote about this big thing about I assume they were trying to make people feel good about not doing any exercise regularly, because the conclusion was that no matter how much exercise you do, you start declining at 35. And I don't believe that, because they don't have a sample in there that actually tests people who do not engage in regular weight training versus people that actually do. I think it's possible to increase muscle capacity beyond age 35, but unless you have those people as part of your sample, you wouldn't be able to find that statistically.
Well, the crazy part about this whole thing is it's basically saying, let's just define the patheticness of the average person.
It is. Yeah.
It's like, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Why are we putting all this energy into this? Let's put some energy into getting these fat fuckers off the couch and put their Cheetos away.
Hey, Petro, a question for you before we work towards wrapping the segment up. So this might sound just simply obvious, but I guess that's what I get paid to ask is the obvious questions. Will there be a point where we as scientists stop testing everything on mice and rats and start testing things on more reasonable entities that might provide results that are more that are based more in reality, John?
Yeah, I'm hoping so. And the key word, you don't see it nearly enough, but the key word that you want to look for is field experiments. So field experiments happen within the immediate environment in which you're trying to generalize.
So like John doing the red light therapy. So for example, John doing red light therapy right now. John is in the field doing the experiment. So that would be an example. Is that what you mean by in-field experiment?
Yes, as opposed to like bringing people into a highly controlled lab with no windows and no, a soundproof room with no stimuli on the wall. I mean, that's a highly controlled study, and then you randomly assign participants to at least 2 or more conditions. But when you take a lab study into the real world and you try to extrapolate from a lab study and apply it to the real world, it doesn't always work. We don't the replication or the reliability of the effects, or it depends on what it is that you're trying to apply and what you're studying, but they oftentimes do not replicate, because in the real world, everything matters, right? And you have all of these other things. So I mean, I'll just give an example of with red light, it's possible, and I'm just throwing this off the top of my head. Perhaps people who eat raw carrots and expose themselves to red light, during sleep, find positive effects. We don't know that unless you study it and you say, okay, well, I have a reason to believe that if you pair raw carrots with the red light, then we'll see the effects. If there's good reason to test that, I'd say, well, let's test it in people's homes, in their beds while they're sleeping, versus people who, do the same exact things without eating raw carrots. And then we'll see whether or not, in conjunction, whether or not raw carrots moderates the effect between red light exposure and any positive.
Well, and that's kind of my point, Patrick, when I was talking with John, is that we don't know all of the extra variables that go into him also having the red light strapped. So, I'm not doubting that it quote unquote works, but what I don't know is that I go back to rain and going outside. If it's raining outside, I will get wet. Doesn't matter if I'm wearing anything or not wearing anything, I'm going to get wet. So whether John has that red light therapy on, whether he's eating the carrots or not eating the carrots, I find that's where I get quite curious with these kind of questions.
Yep. And what you actually need in those types of tests is what we call, is oftentimes referred to as the gold standard of science, and it's still the what we call the double-blind, randomized control trial. So where the experimenter and the participants don't know what condition they are assigned to. So someone knows. You might have, if you have 2 drugs, you have a placebo drug as a control, and then you have the active ingredients, and the drugs look the same, but we know that, okay, there's maybe one is labeled drug A and one labeled drug B, and the experimenters will administer drug A or drug B, but after the study, they'll learn as to whether or not, okay, that, well, A was the placebo and B was the active drug, right? So the participant also does not know, and then we need to take a baseline of the participant's activity or whatever it is that we're measuring of greatest importance. So if we say, like, okay, muscle capacity after 5 weeks of training, with this peptide, we need to know, okay, what's their baseline, and then 5 weeks later, measure them again in a very, very systematic way, right? Yes. So we have to be able to take a look at the baseline and after of both the placebo and the experimental condition, right? And this is still the gold standard in medicine and really all of science, is this double-blind, randomized control trial where you compare a placebo or whatever, all of the steps of the control trial with the experimental trial, and it's important to randomize people to it. Now, if you're also tracking things like, okay, well, do these people, do they like raw carrots or dislike raw carrots, or they eat raw carrots? I mean, you can have a myriad of a million different variables that you can control for, and then you can look at whether or not, okay, these things are associated with either positive or negative effects in conjunction with the thing that you're testing. So this is where it becomes very complex, but that's still the trial that you need. So you might have variation. What I would suspect is there's variation in the exposure to red light and a positive, some desired effect. but there's probably some moderators out there. There's probably some other things that if you do or you don't do that kind of flip that switch on or off for some people.
Hanging out with Keith, John, and John this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends. Hey, you guys can join the show with us, 431-300-3005, or come join the show with us live every single day, 8 o'clock right here, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Jimmy?
No Safe Words with Brianna Bass, live every second Tuesday at 9 a.m. EST. Starts January 6th. If you're uncomfortable, you're in the right place.
I'm not watching.
You are. I already set the reminder.
My safe word is mute.
Denied. This is going to be so much fun.
Say it like the weather, Brian.
Partly cloudy with a chance of naughty. Live every second Tuesday at 9 a.m. EST starting January 6th.
Hey, guys, you ever wonder what happens to the president's shit? I know Anderson's got to go here. Jimmy, let's run this quick. Let's run this. No, actually, Jimmy, let's not. Let's no. We got to rock and roll. Petro's got to go and Anderson's got to go out of here. Johnny, what do you got going on today, brother?
I've got... I'm going to do some content with my guy right after this.
Nice.
Hopefully, it's going to be dry if I can play some pickleball with my wife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
You haven't played any this holidays. You haven't talked about it. You haven't played it all this holidays.
It's been wet, and I've been fucking on crutches, so that wasn't a good combination.
Yeah, I guess that
but hey, I gotta jump. Petro, it was great seeing you, brother. Look forward to our segments. Sorry to jump so quickly, but they're blowing me up a text. Where are you? So I gotta.
You get out of here, Anderson. You go. I got you late. Take care, Anderson.
Have a great loop, my brothers.
See you Monday, pal. All right, Anderson's out of here. You're left with Keith and Petro. Hey, Jimmy, let's run this with Keith and Petro. Johnny, do you know what happens to the president's shit? Before you answer that, let's run the opener. Jimmy.
Tommy, did you know the president's waste is handled like sensitive material? Because it can reveal information, and that is not a joke. On the plane, it goes into sealed onboard holding tanks, not anywhere else.
That is containment, not conspiracy. After landing, a service truck connects and empties the tank. Then it goes to normal wastewater treatment, like any jet.
The concern is privacy. Biology can expose health signals if mishandled. So the goal is simple: minimize exposure, minimize access. People see viral flush clips and think the story is chaos and secrets.
Reality is boring. Sealed systems and strict routines.
Bottom line, it is contained, serviced on the ground, and processed through normal systems. Only flush toilet paper. That's your today's Did You Know? Back to Keith and John.
I guess kind of an obvious one, Petro, but the reality is when we have world leaders do their movements, they got to take it with them.
Yeah, I guess someone's analyzing that, and
it's true.
If the president's trying some new mushrooms or whatever, they'll find it, I guess, in there. And
but you think about it, fascinating. I was watching something with Putin a while back, and any movement is so orchestrated, right? Like what they're fed, what they drink, what they're fed, what they touch, what they leave behind. Like there's, like if I'm coming to your world, for example, Keith flying over to see Petro. They basically self-contain my world, so you cannot get any traces of my world. And I know it's so that shit's fascinating to me because it's like, wow, like they got to think about everything, what he touches, what he doesn't touch, because you don't want fingerprints, you don't want DNA, you don't want nothing left behind so that you can analyze something about me and get an edge on me or something, Petro.
Yeah, you froze there for a second, but I think I got it.
Yeah, my point though is that they basically you got to capture everything so you can't leave nothing behind. No DNA, no fingerprints, because they want to find something on you, don't they?
Yeah, but I would suspect that, you know, with such an important position as a presidency, that they would really want to be making sure that whether, you know, something coming down the pike here, it might be harmful, or maybe if they're analyzing that. But I think it's been going on for a long time, though.
100%.
Kind of saving things. I know I was reading a book about Ronald Reagan and all of he would handwrite all of his speeches.
Yes.
And this was even before he was president, as he was running for president, even a couple of years before he was running for president in like 1979, I believe.
Yeah.
Or no, even before 1979. So his assistants, he would often crumple up the paper and throw it away after he was done with the talk. You know, he would write the next one. Well, people were taking them out of the garbage can, and they saved these, and they put them in a book, and it's fascinating read.
Yes,
you see his scribbles, and then things that he crossed out, and it's amazing. All just about everything, I guess, even the shits are saved.
Well,
I hope they don't have like a backlog or like a warehouse full of all of these things. Hopefully they get rid of it at some point.
Yeah, well, so it's we're all trying to find an edge on somebody, right? So if I find something in your DNA that I could use against you, then I'm going to find it, right? So whether I'm feeding you something or taking something from you, I find it fascinating when they follow world leaders around and you watch them give him a glass of water. Well, they won't give him. So if I'm giving you water, you can't have my water. You're going to have the water that you brought with you, right? So it's all these little things that we just as humans don't think about, that when you get in these positions of power, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, they got to control everything, absolutely everything.
Yeah.
Cool. What do you got going on today? What do you got going on this weekend? Back to regular work next week?
Yeah, I'm back to regular work already. I've been working on a new textbook.
Oh, tell me about it. What's it called?
It will be called Judgment and the Business of Decision Making.
Oh, what's the TLDR about it? Too long, didn't read.
No, well, this will be written such that you can take any chapter, and integrate it into your course if you're teaching anything remotely relevant to judgment and decision making.
Nice.
Judgment and the Business of Decision Making. I need to get working on this book. So pretty much this weekend will be devoted to that before classes start back up on the 12th.
Nice. I suspect it's funny because Melissa just put this in here, which was, and then you probably could have a bestseller with this one, which she's like, hey, how about the art of half reading books? And there's actually probably that's probably a successful story there. You could probably teach people and teach authors how to add all the value in the top half of the book and teach people how to get the most value just by reading perhaps half of it. I don't know, just saying out loud here.
It's just as a quick plug on this idea, though. Yes. Carl Sagan years ago did a video, and he said, if I read 80 years, I read a book a week. That's a little over 4,000 books over 80 years. If I read a book a week, he said, and he shows you here are the four. This is what 4,160 books looks like. It's from like this edge, and it's like this minuscule piece of a library, right?
Yeah.
It says the key is not to read everything, but to know which books to read. Yeah. So I took that to another level and said it's also what parts of a book to read.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
And so that's part of I think that's part of the art. And
I love it. Petro, I love hanging out with you, man, every Friday. Mornings in the lab with Keith, John, and John. Getting after bullshit or no bullshit. You enjoy your day today. We'll catch up along the way, okay?
All right, you too. Thanks. Love you guys.
All right, pal. Out of here. We love you too, Petro. Petro's out of here, guys. Let's keep the show going here this morning. Good morning. You guys can join the show. Let's open the phone lines up. 431-300-3005. Come join the live conversation with us right now. You got questions, you got comments, you got things you want to say. 431-300-3005. All right, listen. Yesterday or a couple of days ago, Masari from Facebook, Instagram, put something on about how the feed, how social, how everything is changing. And he offered up some insights into how we might want to be considering how we're making content moving forward as well. I think we got a home stretch commercial around here, Jimmy. Let's run that last commercial. Let's bring us into the morning focus this morning with a little bit of monologue, something I'm calling When Real Becomes a Filter.
We're heading into an internet where your eyes can be lied to. That's a problem. Deepfakes get clean. AI gets fast. Real passes the vibe check on autopilot. So we'll default to skepticism. Who posted it? Why? What do they want? Labels won't save us. Verification at capture will. Real device, real time, real origin. Trust becomes the product. Consistency builds it. Nation, what's the proof you'll keep showing?
All right, so I read Adam Masari's take on where Instagram and social is heading. And it's one of those posts that quietly, well, it just might punch you in the throat. Because if he's even mostly right, we're walking into a world where real becomes a special effect. Now think about that. By 2026-ish, authenticity might be infinitely reproducible. Not the kind of reproducible, not you can tell if you look closely. I mean deepfakes, AI video, AI audio, AI faces, AI memories, all looking legit, all feeling human, all passing the vibe check. So here's the question that should scare every creator and every brand paying attention right now. If real can be generated, hear me again. If real can be generated, what does that even mean? And this is where Masari nailed something important the internet already did a power shift once. We used to trust institutions by default. Remember? Well, the doctor said that. Okay, I'm going to trust him. Well, the newsroom said that. Okay, well, I'm going to trust him. Kellogg's told me to eat raisins, so I'm going to trust it. Credential experts. Everybody was like, we just trusted it. Then the internet happened. Institutions started losing credibility and people started trusting people. Creators, individuals, the human voice in the noise. This show every single morning. Live, trustworthy conversation. That, up until now, has been the entire creator economy. But now AI shows up and it goes, cute. Huh. Fuck, watch this. Because AI isn't just going to help people create, it's going to create more content than human. What, you want me to say that again? Yes, so let me say that again. AI isn't just going to help people create, it's going to create more content than humans can physically capture. An endless feed and an endless flood of synthetic moments. Perfectly lit, perfectly edited, perfectly timed, perfectly engineered to trigger one thing, nation. Emotion. And here's the twist. When synthetic content becomes unlimited, well, authenticity, it becomes scarce. Yes, just like a live morning conversation. Scarcity creates value. So the creators who win won't just be the ones who can, quote unquote, make content. Wow, that bar has dropped right through the floor. Ask my mom. You can make any video you want. Soon, anyone can type, make me a viral reel with my face in Santorini, and boom, there I am, I'm in Santorini. The bar moves to something way more uncomfortable, because here's where it comes down to. Can you make something only you could make? I've been saying it forever, you guys. Characters, stories are the future. There's a reason we have been leaning into Sophia and Sterling and Preston and Maya. Those are members of the Mornings in the Lab community. That's only something that we could make. If Mike Sullivan made a video with Sophia Grant, people are like, who the fuck's Sophia Grant? Well, Sophia Grant is part of the Mornings in the Lab. It's not this idea of, well, can you copy the trend? Not can you hit the format? Not can you look the part? It's no, can you bring a perspective? Can you bring a truth? Can you bring a story? Can you bring a lived experience? We go back to EAT, experience, expertise, authority, trust. A lived experience that can't be faked because it's not about pixels. It's about a pattern. And I think this is why we're going to see a weird flip where polish becomes suspicious. The gap in my teeth becomes more value than the fresh, clear, clean set of white teeth that are fake, that are manipulated, that are polished. Because polish now is cheap. Anybody can make it. AI makes polish super cheap. Phone cameras make polish cheap. Filters make polish cheap. Portrait mode makes everyone look like they've been interviewed for a documentary called, yeah, I have it all together. But when perfection's everywhere, imperfection, it becomes proof. That raw, it becomes your credibility signal. That misspelling adds value. The shaky camera, do more of it. The bad lighting, I want to see it. The unflattering angle, give me more. The moment that's clearly not staged because it's not content. It's a life leak. And you know what's going to happen psychologically, nation? We're going to stop assuming what you see is real. We will default to skepticism. And we're going to start asking who posted this? Why did they post it? What are they trying to make me believe? What is their motivation? And that will be exhausting. It's going to mess with people because humans are wired to trust what we see. We're not built for an internet where your eyes can be lied to at scale over and over and over. And the reality is, platforms are going to get pressured hard to label AI-generated content, but here's the problem. Detection, cat and mouse game. AI will keep getting better at looking real. Labels will get spotted. AI or not will turn into a permanent argument. So the smarter idea Masaris points to is this. Perhaps it's time to stop trying to identify fake media and start verifying real media at the point of capture. Again, here, live, daily, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Live conversation that you can get a part of daily. Fingerprint the content, cryptographically sign the content, create a chain of custody like this photo was captured by a real device in real time. This becomes a massive shift. And if platforms do this, the future of Instagram isn't just more AI tools, it's better creator tools for real humans, clear AI labeling, verification of real capture, richer content, and ranking that rewards originality instead of mass-produced sameness. But let me land this for the creators out there listening, because this is the part nobody wants to hear. In a world of infinite content and infinite doubt, trust, yes, trust becomes the fault. Trust becomes the product. Not your followers, not your views. Trust. And trust doesn't come from looking perfect. Trust comes from being consistent, from being transparent, from showing your work daily, from being willing to be seen in the messy middle, from building a community where people know your voice well enough to spot a fake. So here's my challenge to you, nation. If AI can make authentic looking content, what's the human thing you're going to double down on? Your story, your edge, your humor, your scars, your point of view, or perhaps your live presence. Because the next era of creators isn't going to be won by the best editors. It's going to be won by the people who are undeniably themselves so much so that even in a world full of perfect fakes, the real you is still the rarest thing in the feed. What's that? You want me to say that again? Oh yeah. The real you is still the rarest thing in the feed. True motherfucking story.
It's time for the Community Corner. Quick gut check. What's one thing you keep delaying because it's hard? Stronger, richer, more attractive. Pick one you've been avoiding. Entropy doesn't care. 2 hours a day becomes 730 a year. That's the bill. Delay kills trust in yourself. Nation, which lane are you pretending doesn't matter? Strength, money, or appearance? Handsome Chief, back to you.
All right, guys, I'm telling you, it's going to be a fascinating year in 2026 with content, what's real, what's not real. The reality is this. We need to move forward thinking everything is not real. But then again, redefining what real is. So I would encourage you to not trust anything you see anymore. Nothing. Lean into what your gut is telling you. Lean into the emotional response of what you're seeing. That might tell you whether it's real or not. Shane Dool, I see you there in the green room, brother. You're an hour late for the show here. So we're actually 90 minutes. We're 90 minutes late for the show there, Shane. So it was actually a 8:30 Eastern time, Shane. We missed this on that one. All right, let's get into the community corner here, guys. YouTube, the 3 things that no man wants to admit he's ignoring. So Dr. Orion Taraban says, men meaningfully get better by being stronger, richer, and more attractive within a moral framework. Oh, yes, we do, baby. Better is vague and moralistic. The phrase men need to do better usually prioritizes women's needs without stating the framework. These near universal inherent goods. No one truly wishes to be weaker, poor, or ugly. Think about it. Nobody wakes up going, I wish I was weaker. I wish I was poor. I wish I was uglier. So most people desire to be stronger, richer, and more attractive. It's the same reason the data is telling us humans prefer computational photography over real photography because it makes us look less ugly. It makes us look less weak. It makes us look less poor. That computational photography makes us look better, makes us look stronger, richer, more attractive. But hey, beware of that anti-strength, that anti-money, that anti-appearance narrative. Those cultural messages that say money doesn't matter is bullshit. Fucking rights, it's bullshit. You want to go make as much money as you possibly can, as far as I'm concerned. Yes, and the entropy guarantees you get weaker, poor, less attractive, you do nothing. Any push against adaptive improvements push you towards worse states. So nation, here's my invitation for you. Start now. Start now. Accept the long game. Over a year or two, sustained work on these two areas will produce tangible life or quality changes. But here's the thing, Neiman. I'm suspecting most folks are waiting till Monday. Yeah. No. My invitation for you is to get after it today. Start now. Accept the long game, because in a year from now, when the year comes, you are going to be producing more quality, tangible life lessons than you are if you don't get started. Yes. Petro, you just described why I love MITL. It functions like a real lab. You don't have to know everything, but try to work things out through real. It's true, man. It's absolutely true. We make no assumptions here. We just figure shit out as we go every single day. Yeah. Well, it's funny, John, because you're right. Nobody ever says, I want to be poor. Nobody ever says, I wish I didn't climb the mountain. I regret climbing that mountain. I want to go back to the other side. No, you never do that. All right, Substack, the real price tag of your delay. Growth mindset says procrastination creates massive measurable losses in time, money, and momentum. Every small delay compounds into large losses. 2 hours a day of drifting becomes 730,000 hours a year. Tens of thousands of dollars in potential value. A deeper cost is identity level. You stop trusting yourself. You feel sick watching others pass you, slowly accepting a smaller life. So, hey, convert vague goals into specific measurable targets with deadlines. Break it into 2 to 3 immediate actions you can start this week. Guys, think about this. What is procrastination costing you today? What did it cost you in 25? And are you going to let it happen again? Are you? Today's the day to say no. Maya, are you going to procrastinate as you go into 26?
Delay has a price tag. It's not just time. It's trust in yourself. Treat hours like cash. Put a number on them. You'll stop donating them to drift. Your problem isn't character. It's a system. Build one that makes starting easy. Nation, drop your 2 actions for this week. And follow us on YouTube, LinkedIn, Instagram, Substack, and Blue Sky.
All right. We're wrapping up, guys. We're wrapping up the void week. Yeah, that crazy week in between New Year's and Christmas where everybody's like, just gotta wait until the next. I'm gonna get started next week. No, get started today. All right, we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Today was about systems colliding. And oh man, did they ever collide? Yes. Yeah. All right, we looked at how influence and popularity get manufactured in plain sight. How time gets treated casually, even though it's the one thing you never get back, and how technology is moving faster than our ability to keep up with it emotionally or cognitive. We got into the Georgetown study with John Petrocelli, and then we also talked about where real is heading in the morning focus. And Community Corner, we wrapped up with Maya Reyes. As we head into the weekend, guys, a couple invitations for you. Do not hit that snooze button. No, because we got some science telling us, and Petra, maybe it's science journalists telling us that, if If you're changing your sleep-in times on the weekend, it's messing your head up. So don't do that. Guys, back at it live Monday morning, less than 48 hours, same time, same place. New awesome conversations lined up. We got a week full of guests next week as well. We got myself, John Anderson, John Petrocelli next Friday, Brianna Bass on Tuesday with no safe words. I think that's what it's called, Melissa. But hey, guys, thanks for spending time with us. And we're going to see you back here real soon. But until then, you guys can join the Mornings in the Lab community. It's active on the Mornings in the Lab channel and live every single day right here. YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Mornings in the Lab with Keith, John, and friends.